I've failed in my last 5 business attempts. What's the best advice you could give me? Well, try a 6th. I'm just kidding. Here's what I've discovered about entrepreneurs in general is that the ones that hit home runs usually don't hit a home run on the first try. Sometimes they hit a single, maybe a double, but certainly not a home run. And so if you are an entrepreneur or you were one in the past and you want to be one again, and failure is something that you're really apprehensive about or really nervous about, like this particular question, I failed 5 times, what do I do next? Well, I'm often reminded that many entrepreneurs fail just before they get to the goal line. And so they're, a foot away from failure or 12 inches away from failure. And what you never really know is how close were you, right? We don't get the benefit as entrepreneurs of knowing that. But here's what I would say. I would say if you failed 5 times, firstly, do you know why you failed? Do you know what the reasons were that your business didn't succeed? Was it poor product, poor service? Was it terrible marketing and sales? Did you simply borrow? See my other YouTube Quora episodes, you can get the answer to that question. But did you borrow money and you just got kind of dragged down in the debt and the business simply couldn't support it anymore? So what was the reason that you failed? And if you can be honest about the reason that you failed, then the question becomes, okay, well, if you get up to bat a 6th time or another time, what are you going to do differently? How are you going to make sure that you end up succeeding? And I can relate to this personally because I've been up to bat a few times with a few different businesses. And I know where my weaknesses are. In particular, sales and marketing are not my forte. I'm not a marketer per se. I'm not a salesperson per se. My comfort zone is in doing this, talking, listening to myself talk, I guess, and working out problems. I'm a great problem solver and have failed in the past to get really strong people around me that are excellent at sales and are excellent at marketing. And that's mostly because, I've always thought that I'm either smarter than them or I know more than them. And, haven't been prepared to really press very hard and trust people. So that's some of the reasons I've gotten up to bat and failed. But what about you? If you failed, what was it that produced the failure? And is it something that you can control? Is it something that you can influence? Is it something that if you get up to bat again, you can just do differently? So the best advice I would have for someone that's failed 5 times or 1 time or 2 times, but really wants to be an entrepreneur, is that the only way that you learn and the only way you're going to be successful is by failing. And many people are afraid to fail, which they shouldn't be, but they are. And it's that fear of failure that prevents people from being successful. And so they'll either pick something safe, but they'll never be truly fulfilled, or they won't pick something safe and they'll struggle their whole life. So you've got to be prepared to fail. So it's not how quickly you fail, it's actually how quickly you learn from that failure, get up and keep going. Because if you can put those lessons to use, you might find that at the end of the day, you end up hitting your home run. And it wasn't because you didn't fail, it's because you failed more times than the next person and you learned the lessons faster and you were able to iterate and benefit from them. So hopefully you find that helpful.